It's the Blues Rock Show with Pete Francis and Willie Witten.
Welcome to the Blues Rock Show. I'm Pete Francis, joined by Willie Witten. Today, our guest is blues rock guitarist Jeremiah Johnson. Jeremiah, thanks for coming on the show today.
I really appreciate you having me today. Thanks for letting me talk to you today.
You got it. So you did something pretty interesting in 2020, something very ambitious. You didn't release just one studio album. You released 2 studio albums. So what went into that?
Well, basically what happened is right away when I released the first album, it had only been maybe a month or 3 weeks after its release that the pandemic hit and shut me down. I had 130 something dates in Europe scheduled with the Blues Caravan, Roof Records Blues Caravan tour with Whitney Shea and Ryan Perry. And, I had planned on hopefully, selling some CDs and making some money and paying my bills and all that. And anyway, that didn't happen, obviously. What happened then is, I sat around for so long that I just got anxious and aggravated with going broke and such. And I decided that I was going to try to put together some music to possibly just release online if that was all I could do to make some money because, if it wasn't for some of the grants and some of the people, the fans helping me out with different things like live streaming and that, I would have probably been in a situation where I could have lost my house. Anyway, I recorded this album with Paul Niehaus and Tony Antonelli, 2 guys here from St. Louis. And I was going to try to figure out what I was going to do with it, brought it to Roof Records and said, hey, you have rights to anything I do. If you don't want this, I'm going to go do something with it so I can make some money. He listened to it, and 2 days later, they sent me a contract and said, let's release it now. And I said, all right. So that's how it happened. I mean, it was originally going to be just something I was going to release online. And then it turned out to be one of my best records that I think I've done in my life just because of the raw energy and passion behind all the songs on it, because most of it was about the pandemic and COVID-19.
Well, and so we're talking about the name Unemployed, Highly Annoyed. It is topical. And I think what I found very interesting about it is the topics are in the lyrics and you hear it, but on first listen, what I gathered from it, and maybe others agree, maybe they don't, but it's got a little bit of a different Jeremiah Johnson sound to it. There's some Fender Rhodes on Muddy Black Water. There's some differences. It's still distinctly you, but there are some sonic differences. How did those come about?
Well, it's real simple. I decided I had been considering changing my band around for a while now. And then when the pandemic hit, it was sort of an opportunity where I thought, well, I'm going to start all over again with this thing and go a different direction that I'd been kind of wanting to go for a while. So I went from a 5-piece band with a saxophone and, percussions and all that, which was very expensive to tour with. I wouldn't be able to do that now. And I decided I wanted to go to a power trio. And with that power trio, Paul Niehaus, who owns a studio here in town, Blue Lotus Studios, where we recorded the record, he's a multi-instrumentalist. So he could play keys, banjo, guitar, bass, anything with strings and whatever he can play. And so I wanted to go to more of a jam band sound, more of a Government Mule feel, where it's just a jamming guitar, bass jamming, and some keys. Down the road, I'll probably hire a guy to play the keyboards live, but right now I just can't afford to do that. So that's why it sounds different. And that's why I think it's more the direction that I intend on going in my future for a while anyway. I've been doing the horns thing for a long time. Now it's time to pursue the guitar and keys thing.
And you mentioned how this album was very inspired by the pandemic. And obviously live streaming has really kind of come about from the pandemic now with more artists doing live streams. You've done some live streams. What are your thoughts on live streaming concerts? Are you comfortable doing it? And do you see this as something that's going to stay around for a while?
Okay, first of all, yes, I have done a few. I was reluctant to do it at all at first, mostly because I felt like it was begging for money. And, I've always been a hard worker and never had to file for unemployment or anything, so I didn't want to do it. But, when you're about ready to lose your house or whatever, you tend to change your mind. And a lot of my fans encouraged me to do it. So I decided, yes, I'd do it. What I like to do them, but I prefer to record them and then video edit them afterwards before I air them, mostly because I want the show to be top notch. I don't want it to be some cell phone in a basement, like the ones that I've been doing lately are all multi-camera. We record them in the studio so that all the audio is recorded professionally as if we were making an album, and we mix it, master it, and then I go back and I've learned how to become a video editor during this pandemic. That's one of the skills I picked up. And so I edit all the video together, and that way I'm providing somebody something that they can put on their big screen TV with their stereo system, and it sounds killer, looks great, HD. And so, yes, I do. I enjoy them, but I like to be kind of pre-record them. I still keep it live, but I want to pre-record it. And then as far as in the future, I think that that going forward, that we're going to see the option of the live feed at nearly every concert venue out there. I think the future is, yes, the live show, but I believe that there's going to be an option to stream it live, and of course you'd pay for it like a ticket.
Yeah.
And I see that as a way for venues to supplement the income, and for the acts, the performing acts to get also supplement what they get too. And then it'll also allow people who are maybe antisocial or don't like to go out and are afraid of COVID, or maybe handicapped in a way where they can't go, or they don't have a car, but they want to go see a concert. And so I see it as a great way of moving forward with it as an addition to the live show, not replacing the live show. So that's kind of how I feel. I see some venues already doing that. Most of the venues that really are looking forward have already invested thousands of dollars on cameras, lighting, proper mixing equipment, and training their staff on how to mix it, the audio and all that live. So I think you're going to see that stick around.
Yeah, that's really interesting when things kind of do go back to normal. If you throw in that live stream on top of it, that could be a really nice additional revenue generator for artists.
Well, let's say you have a concert that's for me in St. Louis. What if there's a concert in Europe or in the other in New York that I want to watch? I think it'd be excellent to be able to go onto my smart TV and click, hey man, I want to go. I want to see so and so play, and click it, and then have it, on my TV, and have a pop of beer and enjoy it in my pajamas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you're in favor of, you're gung ho about the idea of being able to spread the live concerts to more places around the world via the internet. Will you, when this is done, will you specifically record shows just for the live stream format?
Yes, I will. I have, well, I don't know. When you say when it's done, no, probably not.
Okay.
I'm not going to be doing any more recording video in the studio live and doing, it took me 40 hours to put together a show, the last one I did. And I'm only seeing it as a supplement. I'm not going to go and do it just live stream only shows. I don't think that's something that I want to do, because I want to see people out. Even though it's recorded live in the studio or whatever, it's not live. It's not live until you have somebody in the audience who's drank too much, who's passing out in the seat, who, until you run into that crazy guy in the bathroom that won't quit talking, and, until you're smelling the food, and you're with somebody you love, or a friend, or somebody, and you have a great night that you remember for the rest of your life. That's live music, man. And that's something you'll never get on a live stream. And no, I won't just do live stream shows only in the future. Once this is done, that'll be an additional thing.
Okay. Speaking of once this is done, because I think that a lot of our lives have changed in the music sense, do you think that artists sort of being separated from their bands, separated from their fans, at least in that live concert setting, do you think it's going to accentuate and accelerate the trend of people doing more solo acts? Or do you think that people are going to be so excited that people can get back together that bands will become a bigger thing and people will just love playing with each other? How do you think we come out of this as we get back into concerts?
Well, I hope that people go towards bands, because to me, the magic of say 3 or 4 musicians working together, independent of thought, and then somehow magically creating this thing is part of what I enjoy about performing in general. It's just not music unless, to me, unless there's a bass line and there's a drummer kicking it back there. That those two people, that's what moves your body, man. So I hope that it's the latter, that it's the bands. But it may be a while, and there may be a whole new genre for the one man band thing. But I don't like I'm not a guy who wants to go through a looper and have fake drums, or kicking a tambourine all night long. That's just, it's cool, don't get me wrong. I can't do that, but I don't really want to sit and watch that for 2 hours either. I want to watch a band.
Do you like doing that sort of thing, maybe in an acoustic setting with an acoustic guitar?
I have, and I don't mind it so much. But truth be told, I really just enjoy the electric sound, and electric feel. Acoustic shows, they're cool. I would do one if someone asked me to do one, but I'd want to have my bass player, and I'd want to have my drummer, who's Tony Antonelli is a phenomenal percussionist, and he's got 100 different things he can hit and beat on. I don't even know what all that, some of the stuff he hits on, I don't even know what it's called. And so, I would do an acoustic show, but I'd do it with my band.
Do you think you'd take it, I think out of this, there will be some technological advances. Do you think you're someone who might utilize the ability in the future to, if let's say you're stationed in St. Louis and you've got gigs coming up in a couple months, do you think that maybe you'd be willing to practice with someone on sort of like an online format and then meet up? Or are you very much just like, no, I want to do it live, I want to do it in person? Or is there a level it has to be good enough to where it can replicate it?
You know what? I would definitely, if somebody wanted to, for example, we're going to be, I looks like I'm going back to Europe in September and October of this year. The Blues Caravan tour, as far as I've been told, is going to happen again. They've rescheduled the shows in the UK and Germany and in Europe. I would be totally cool with, getting a hold of Amanda Dahl or, anybody over there that's in that band and work stuff out with them. But honestly, most professionals that I've worked with, if I just send them an MP3 or the audio of whatever I'm doing, they normally can just whip it out, but I would be glad to utilize the technology in that way. It is really cool that you can do that.
So it sounds like what we get to look forward to is potentially being able to tune in to some of your shows this September, October, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yes, indeed. I'm really looking to try to figure out how to record the audio and video shows myself too. That was something that I'm working on. It's going to require that I drag around a lot more equipment, which when you're on the road is not good, because thieves love to break into vans, and I don't want to have another $20,000 worth of equipment in the vehicle. But if I can figure out a way to do it without dragging around all that many assets, then I'm going to try to do that too. But yes, you're going to see some shows out there. I've got shows already scheduled this month. I'm going on a little small tour up in like Nebraska and Kansas area. I've got a tour in February that I'm going down to Florida for about 10 days. So I'm going wherever they will let me play. You know, wherever they're saying that we're going to let people in here that want to come to a show, I'm going there and playing there. So I'm not going to wait. Yeah.
Well, Jeremiah, this has been great. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
No, I just thanks a lot for your time, and man, I really like what you guys are doing. I've did this show before, and I thought it was entertaining. And keep it up, man. It really is cool to see different guests and such. And you guys take care and have a fabulous 2021. You know.
You too, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your time. What do you guys think of the topics that we discussed today? Let us know down in the comments section below. But for now, he's Willie Witten and Jeremiah Johnson. I'm Pete Francis. This is the Blues Rock Show. We'll see you next time.